Hello and welcome to the channel. We are the Hologrumps. I'm Liam.
And I'm Colum.
And we're here today because we've got a bit of news. And as always, a little bit of Kirk to round us off. But before we start, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button if you like what you see here for more Star Trek content. So, this is in relation to Gates McFadden, who is expecting herself to return in Star Trek Picard Season 2.
And Gates McFadden is Beverly Crusher, in case you're not up to date on the names of people. So, this was reported by TrekMovies.com.
It's an exclusive, actually, at TrekMovies.com.
Exclusive! So this is actually great news for Next Generation fans out there, particularly for those Beverly Crusher fans out there. Gates McFadden had a recent interview with TrekMovie.com where she discussed the possibility of Dr. Crusher coming back for Season 2 of Picard. She seems to rule out the possibility of this return being to facilitate a relationship between Picard and Crusher. As she said, I think that Patrick made a decision at some point that he was opening it up to other relationships in our show. And in the movies, certainly. So I can't imagine that it's suddenly going to be different. This, of course, leaves Crusher with the chance to get it on with ghosts. Liam, do you look forward to a relationship between Picard at 94 and Crusher at 75?
Well, I think it might just be one of the longest ships in any history of a franchise. How long has this been going on for? 34, 33 years? And in Star Trek canon, it's been going on for about 45, 50 years. I mean, what age was Picard at the start of Encounter at Farpoint? He was about 50, wasn't he?
Oh, I couldn't possibly know, but it does feel like it was a lifetime ago.
Yeah, and now he's 94 in Star Trek canon, and Crusher is 75. So I think they've really waited a long time to make their feelings be properly known to each other.
Yeah.
Or maybe Picard is anxious to test out his new android body. It's androgynous.
No!
So, McFadden was asked what she thinks Crusher would be doing 20 years after Nemesis. She hesitantly responded, I think she definitely would be somebody who was very engaged with the world and trying to make it a better place. I would not see her as somebody retiring. And you know, she obviously raised a kid while she was a full-on commanding officer. So I think the sky is the limit in terms of what her life could be.
But don't forget, Liam, they're in space.
Oh yes, of course. So, the space is the limit. How much space can she get?
All the space.
All the space. Of course, she was hesitant in saying what she imagines for her character, for the fear that she'll jinx it and she won't be the same Crusher as before. She's not as reliable. But of course, whether or not she will actually return is anyone's guess. Her response to whether or not she has been tapped to appear in Picard, she said, well, I don't know. There's a good chance, let's put it that way. But I've signed no contract.
That's a big no, if ever I've heard one. That's a big, they haven't contacted me yet, if ever I've heard it. The only reason she did this interview was possibly to drum up interest for the return of Dr. Crusher.
They might be putting out a lot of feelers there for people to be like, oh, who are they actually interested in? And they'll say it to them, like Alex Kurtzman will call up and say, oh, hey, Gates McFadden, just wondering, could you do an interview and we'll just test the audience response to see if anyone's interested in Crusher returning. And they seem to do this with lots of people. They had like Robert Picardo, the doctor, put up a thing saying, oh, guys, Picardo could be in Picard, Season 2. Next will be Season 3.
That'd be a bit weird though, wouldn't it?
It's because 7 of 9's in it.
Yeah. Maybe he lives inside her positronic net.
No, you've given them an idea. No, retract that statement, Colin.
It's too good. It's way too good.
Moving on.
Okay, and lastly, for our Kirk news, it seems that the captain has signed off for the last time on Twitter. During these troubling times, he has been providing us with captain's logs over on Twitter. 100 tweets to uplift our spirits. The last one had a bit of nostalgia attached to it. Eric Swan from Cinema Blend reported on it. William Shatner recently took to Twitter to deliver his 100th and final captain's log. In the sweet message, the 89-year-old actor expressed his hope that the fans had enjoyed his frequent check-ins and mentioned how much fun he'd had delivering them. Now, the tweet itself reads as following, as you guys can see. Captain's log, stardate 100. I hope you've all enjoyed my captain's log musings and rantings on the first 100 days of sheltering. It was the least I could do. It was fun. Oh my. Winky face.
He gets it. He gets it. It's funny to think that I went to see him in concert like a day or two before he started all these captain's logs.
Yeah.
It's funny to think of how quickly everything did change. Can't go into any more specifics. Algorithm. But no, I thought his tweet was a great reference to Kirk's final words, in case anyone didn't get that. Oh my.
Oh my.
Colin, have you read the captain's logs?
No. I'm not actually on Twitter. I'm afraid of Twitter, if I'm being honest. I'm scared of it. I'm afraid of rabbit holes.
Yeah, and rightly so, because I have a Twitter account just for looking at these things, and I did fall into one of them rabbit holes. I decided to look at Kirk's captain's logs, and it just spun out of control into all manner of stuff to do with current affairs. So that's about all the news that we have for you this week. There are other bits of Star Trek news out there. Just go look for them. We won't report on everything, just what interests us. So, for the Hologrumps, I have been Liam.
And I have been Colum.
Very good. And remember, existence is futile.
Like and subscribe.